So I made a very bland rasam with tofu, and there's my smoothie. That's the rasam mix, and it's, well, I was going to show you the ingredients, but whatever. Bread bowl, wrap that we got given to us, and James's smoothie. And talk about the Cold War, and all of these other things here. So James has a Russian thing he's going through. And I guess I can put this down a little bit. Whoop, that's probably too much, but we'll see. So there we go. So that's my outfit for today. And I like the way it crosses in the back. Anyway, I got this bikini top from the children's section of the MCC. And anyway, so what I did is, rasam is really, like, it's just a broth anyway, but I'll show you. So it has, the reason that, like, if you look at the net carbs there, the reason that it's as high as it is because you can see it has dal in it. So, well, red gram dal. But, so I had this and I thought, well, you know, I remember rasam is really spicy. So if I make it really weak, well, I'm not getting a lot of net carbs anyway, because like the tofu is giving me nothing, and no net carbs because of fiber. So anyway, not a lot of net carbs in my meal, but I could make this a lot more flavorful without having the red gram dal in it, and just using those other ingredients there, and skipping the sugar, right? Because the sugar added a little bit to here, and honestly, I can't taste it. I don't know why they stuck it in here, because it just tastes like really hot. It tastes about right because I didn't put that much. But I want to try to do something using the same sort of spices and do something a little bit different tomorrow. So we'll see. See what I'm going to do. Maybe even still a little spicy. That rasam. Anyway, so James's soup is not the same as mine. He doesn't like the spice. So
I like spices, but not spicy.
Not spicy. So his is flavored with miso and rosemary and basil.
That's good.
It's been like that. So, yeah. We tried to review these yesterday. It didn't work out really great. So I don't know if you gave up on our
Did we go
video.
through one thing or something? I can't remember. Anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, anyway. So, I'm going to leave Cold War and Nuremberg to the last, and I hope that we're not interrupted and we're able to get to it, because those are the ones worth seeing most out of this stack. Now, there are some things in here that I watched this one while I was working out, I think, and yeah, and it was great to work out to. This one, I didn't. I woke up in the middle of the night, 1 o'clock, I'm like, oh, I can't sleep, and I've been doing that lately, and so I decided to watch this. Yeah. And yesterday, I had to do this in 2 installments. I had to stop it in the middle and do something else because it was just, I was not enjoying it. So,
I stopped through
Super
that
Mario Galaxy.
I thought it was one show.
This Underground there's 3 discs in here, and there's the movie, and then there's the TV episode version of the movie, which honestly I don't think we're going to get to. had to break after, like, there's still one part, the third part of this left, and we still haven't gotten back to it. So it's not that it's terrible, it's just not great. It's not
It's
my
not
kind of
as
comedy.
funny as they think it would be.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, and then I don't know. So I'm going to start from the bottom. So Vanquish, Morgan Freeman. It looks like the movie makers have realized that Morgan Freeman is a terrible actor, and this is all he can get now, is jobs like this, which honestly this is about his level. And
Big trouble is he's got top billing. Everything scales down from him, and he's
he
awful.
does. But it's so bad. He's the best actor in this. It's really terrible. Both of us hated the way, like, it's just, there's it says it's action thriller genre. It's neither.
It's not action. It's not thriller.
No, it's boring. Really boring. It feels at least twice as long as it is, and it's not a long movie. It's a regular hour and a half sort of thing, but it feels long.
It drags like you're wearing concrete boots underwater.
So, yeah, every scene is slow. It needs to be fast. If you're doing action thriller, it needs to be fast, and it's not.
Think Mission Impossible or whatever. There's a Bruce Willis, any number of Bruce Willis things, whatever those things are called.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Hollywood knows how to do it, but
the worst stuff is the cell phone talk, and I realized that Morgan Freeman, he would have been able to do the work easily, because he's basically phoning it in, almost quite literally, right? So
he always does, but this time
that's the
comes
job.
with the double meaning.
Yeah. So yeah, it's ridiculous. It's
And this woman who's got the second lead role or whatever, send her back to wherever she came from. She looks
bad.
like she's mixed martial arts or something.
I don't know, she's just bad. She's not an actress. She needs to stop trying and do something else.
Not that she's trying that hard in this.
Firestarter.
Oh, I
this
did
is a
want to
remake.
mention.
What?
Whoever wrote this or whatever, she's walking into places that are high security. She's got guns tucked in her belt or whatever waistband behind her back, but she hasn't got a coat over those. They're just totally out there, the handles of the pistols, and they're big too. And security guards are walking behind her. Maybe they're checking out her rear end. I don't know, but it happens any number of times. I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, that's the silliest thing of it all, I think.
No, the silliest thing was Morgan Freeman directing her while she's on the motorcycle.
That was stupid.
That was so stupid.
You never do that with someone on the motorbike.
No. Unless he has information that she doesn't, which he doesn't.
Like
he's not reading a map or whatever. It's anyway. Firestarter. So they'd redone this movie from way back. Like it was made into a movie when I was a kid. So this is 2022. They redid this, and it's not good. It's just really bad. They shouldn't have redone it. If you're gonna redo something, like, what do they call it? Rebooting? If you're gonna do that,
try to improve it.
You have to improve, or don't bother.
Yeah.
This was awful. It felt really, really long. Rage Against the Machine. Like I was mentioning, the one guy, the one guitarist, he has harm the homeless on his guitar, which is ridiculous because obviously these guys don't know anything about the homeless. Because here the homeless are armed. They pack around knives.
Some of them aren't armed. They're the ones who've left this stuff like in their yard and in the alley.
Yes. Sometimes you find their knives.
They just harm themselves.
They've lost them along the way. But yeah, there was my neighbor. There was a couple people having a knife fight in her yard. You know, so yeah, the homeless, they're armed. So these guys, I don't know. They're just losers. They're total like Rage Against the Machine. They're the machine.
They're part of the machine.
What? You know, it's ridiculous. And they have this big following. You're watching Brazil 2010, and so many people, huge crowd, and it's
bouncing around in the crowd.
Wow, how much? This many people have bought the marketing that these guys are laying out for you. I mean, it's ridiculous. This is garbage. This isn't even music.
Let's call it marketing because they've got all sorts of red stuff.
Yeah,
sometimes they change
it's
it to
ridiculous.
White stuff. They seem to be communists or something like that. The lead guitarist was wearing this funny little special special services cap on, bouncing around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember any of the titles.
Well, they're on the back.
Oh.
It says
Bulls on Fire. What was that? Bomb Truck.
Bullet in Your Head. I don't know. There's a whole. It says that all of their hits or whatever. I didn't recognize.
I remember "Know Your Enemy" because they repeated that so many times.
Okay.
It's not as though they created that phrase. You young folks who get thrilled about that. I mean, when the Rolling Stones did "Play with Fire," I thought, "Wow, that's an awesome thing." And then realized it's a cliche. "Know Your Enemy" that's kind of a cliche. And then they bothered to repeat it. Rage Against the Machine.
So, vacuuming completely nude in paradise. It's the acting's okay. The story, I guess, is okay. They didn't come up with a good ending, or maybe that's the director's fault and stuff. I don't know.
Writer, director, whatever. You know, if it's not adequate, do a rewrite.
Yeah, and the camera work is dreadful. They're trying to be creative with like different angles and different. It's bad.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to watch because of it.
Can I do a spoiler alert? I don't think anyone vacuums in the nude.
No, but
a guy's wearing. So spoiler alert. He does go out on a beach, but he's got huge, big, ugly white briefs on and stuff. They're not very well, thankfully.
Basically,
not that brief.
The story is there's this guy who's getting. Young man who he likes to make electronic music, and he's but he can't really get any work doing it, and so he gets a job selling vacuum cleaners with this. He's like the apprentice to this guy who's a really great salesman.
Or so he's portrayed.
Well, very effective. He sells well. He's not a nice person. No. And he's the company that they work for, they have this promotion where the person who sells the most vacuum cleaners gets a trip to some paradise off and away. And so this guy's been just selling like mad. He's like part of his life is there's nothing else but sales for this guy. And then at the end, the boss changes the rules because he doesn't like the guy. And so even though he had sold the most, he found out, because he's like, how could this have happened that he didn't win, right? But even though he'd sold the most, the other guy had helped some other guys cheat so that somebody else would win.
No.
So
these things happen all the time.
So
when I was in grade 12, I got the highest marks in the school. Up to that point in time, like my brother 2 years before me, 3 years before me, something like that. He got the highest marks in the school, valedictorian. That was the standard practice. All of a sudden, when I got the highest marks, the rules changed. Now, I didn't want to do a valedictory address. Apparently, the principal said when they were discussing what to do about the possibility of me being valedictorian, can we trust James?
Trust him to do what? What did they think you were going to do?
Oh, I could do anything.
Like
Yeah,
what?
I could have said anything. I scared them. Yeah, highest marks, actually the highest mark ever in this history of the school. Got 100% in my social studies. Provincially mandated. Believe me, they weren't giving me marks like that. They watered down my marks by giving me marks, as I recall, it was, I don't think they gave me 80 or above, except one nice guy. And he gave me 90. The guy taught me French, something like that. But the rest of them, 79. Scumbags.
Yeah.
I'm not
So,
going to say scumbags all because
The provincial exam bumped up your marks.
Well, with
hugely.
the social studies, I guess if you got the perfect mark, they weren't going to sully it with, I would have got below.
Yeah, well, that would
90%.
look really bad on
Yeah,
them.
it would have. Yeah. Highest mark in the history of the school. Can we trust James? And the answer was, it's a rhetorical question. And the answer was, no, they really couldn't. I wouldn't want to do it. I hated doing speeches back then. What have I said? It's one of the reasons why I gave up on the religion I was raised on. They were having teenage boys doing sermons in front of people. You had to write them too. Like, what do you write when you? It's ridiculous when you don't believe this stuff. Anyway, enough of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's happening all the time. In the United States, you hear about people, they've been working away at their job, and all of a sudden, there's no pension for them. They've been, they might have even been paying into a pension plan.
Yeah.
But it's not there for them, right?
Yeah, some of that's capitalism. Some of that
happens
is
all the time. All of a sudden down the road, the rules change just for you. You get, it sucks.
Lucky you.
But that's life. So, yeah, I was mentioning Underground, not nearly as funny as it should be, especially given that they bothered to make this into like 2 versions, movie and TV series.
What's especially embarrassing?
There's a booklet in here. There's whatever. It's like, I expected a lot more. So you're gonna have to read subtitles to get through this too.
So what's embarrassing is, especially embarrassing, is it's not nearly as
Serbo-Croatian.
Serbo, but not. I think it was based in Serbia, but they're basically the same language. They use different scripts. One's Latin, one's the Cyrillic script, like the Russian script, and it's not nearly as funny as the people making the jokes think it is. We've seen people like that.
Anyway, so the next one, the Super Mario Galaxy movie. They have 70s music. Why?
Disco.
It doesn't even make sense because the Super Mario thing. This started off when.
In the 80s, sometime 10.
So why are they even going with that? I mean, the 80s are really popular with the youth today. 80s clothing and stuff. It's silly.
Yeah.
So why'd you pull the 70s into this? It doesn't.
There was some very good
music
in the 80s, but it wasn't going to the top of the chart.
For the most
Most
part.
of it, REM, whatever. What's the name of that group? The one that sang the song about heaven.
Just Like Heaven?
Just Like Heaven.
The
Yeah,
Cure?
they did
that's our
a hit
song.
and a half or something like that. But, they weren't roaring to the top of the charts the way talented people were in the 60s. Not so much in the 70s. Most of the 80s was just the desert.
There's a lot of color, there's a lot of movement, that you would expect in a video game-ish movie.
It's attractive looking.
It is.
I think Mario and whatever his bro
Luigi.
Luigi, they look awesome. You know,
They do.
cute.
Yeah.
Although why
And
Italians
Jack
would
Black
have
is
blue
one
eyes.
of the voices. I didn't recognize the names of the other ones, but
Yeah.
might recognize them to see them. I don't know, but you can't see them. Anyway, Mortuary collection. It doesn't seem great until you get to past the mortician's telling of stories too, but his were interesting enough. But then when you get to her telling of the story and what it gets a lot more interesting. So I enjoyed this well enough. I didn't expect to at all, and it's very different than I thought it would be. If you're looking for a scary horror movie, well, that's not this really. Even though some creepy things happen and everything, but it's not that. It's like maybe like horror movies were in the 50s or something. Not really scary. So
I'm sure they were scary back then.
Maybe.
Times change.
Scream 7. I was mentioning I had no idea that there were 7 Scream things. Thinking about this overnight, I think that I was a little harsh when I said that the movie had too much of a Happy Families kind of ending, and it needed to have a cliffhanger where it's going to happen again, right? But honestly, it kind of, when you think about it afterwards, you think, well, the fact that, if you go look through it in your mind, it does have, you do know that it's going to happen again, because they say in the story, they were talking about how multiple people were saying this, that it's has to be somebody you know, right? Because that's how it is. It's somebody that you know. And it ends up, I'll give a bit of a spoiler alert here, that you barely know the one person involved. So, and when you don't know how many killers there are, or if there's one or many, because when they're wearing this costume, well, you could go, oh, you look a little shorter than that, but are you going to notice when there's some scary person chasing you trying to kill you? I don't know.
I'm not looking at them, I'm running.
Exactly. So, but when the daughter goes into the coffee shop and she puts in the access code and the door's locked, then the scary person is standing on the outside of the door, and then they start putting in the code. And so actually at that point, that it has to be somebody that they know well enough that they know the code. And so when you think back on that at the end of the movie, there had to be somebody else that was involved. That there had to be somebody else that was a killer, So I'm taking back my review of this, and I'm saying this is actually really awesome. They did a great job on this. Yeah. It's definitely worth seeing if you're into horror movies, the whole horror genre. It's funny, right? So, which I prefer. Not everyone does. So we have 5 minutes to talk about Cold War and Nuremberg. And both are must-sees, as far as I'm concerned.
I think I said that yesterday.
Yeah.
My mind hasn't changed.
Mm-hmm.
Either.
Yeah. Russell Crowe did an awesome job, but honestly, I think everyone did in this.
I think they did.
Yeah.
They were well cast. I mean, the guy who played the main prosecutor, well, he did a great job.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand it. If I had to be around someone like that and see chain smoking, sloshing drink down and stuff like that, I think I'd be contemplating something or other. But not murder, but running away, I suppose. But yeah, main prosecutor, kind of guy. He plays a very American type. The British guy, the British prosecutor. He's a typical British snob, and I wouldn't like him, but well cast in the role, that sort of stuff. Russell Crowe, I shouldn't have to say anything. I think he's a scumbag, but he's one of the best, I'd say top 10 actors in the world, well, in the English language today. Plays many different types of roles. This is quite different, playing Herman Goering than playing the guy in the Nash or whatever his name was in the was it A Simple Mind? What was that? A Beautiful Mind. Stephen Nash? No, it wasn't Steve Nash. Anyway, some sort of Nash.
So,
mathematician.
what's that? Cold War. This one you'll need to read subtitles too to watch it.
I didn't even notice it, folks.
Yeah,
like I said
it's
yesterday,
so good.
Halfway through, I said to Pauline, I didn't even notice that this was in black and white.
Yeah, and usually that bothers both of us.
Yeah.
Unless it's a movie that was filmed in black and white way back when because they didn't have color.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a beautiful movie. The music, just wonderful. I loved hearing the singing, hearing the piano, watching the dancing. Fantastic. Top notch. Great costumes. Just everything about this is perfect.
It shows how the commies were doing the folk thing. A lot of people, I used to wonder, where did the folk movement come in music? Well, there's a bunch of commies and their fellow travelers, so I don't know if it probably started even before. Well, it started with Woody Guthrie in the 30s. I like to think he was a fellow traveler, not a commie. And then in the late 40s, you had the Weavers featuring Pete Seeger, or Seat Seeger as I call him. By that point in time, late 40s. Well, Stalin was still in power. Seat Seeger was a Stalinist, People are going, he's a big hero now. But anyway, then they were doing folk songs in the late 50s, and rock and roll fans hated the folk, like Mitch Mitchell or whatever, doing kind of sing-along kids type of folk things. They hate folk, and I couldn't understand it, because I kind of liked folk in the 60s. But it was folk rock I liked, When I was like 13 years old, our teacher was a music teacher, had us singing along to stuff that obviously she liked. She was very young, so she liked folk music, and I didn't mind singing If I Had a Hammer with Trini Lopez. He's a Latino and from Dallas, Texas. I think that's where he was born, good old Trini. But the song is kind of like a kid's chant. If I had a hammer, if I had a sickle. Oh, it's written by Pete Seeger. Anyway, I kind of like Where Have All the Flowers Gone, but again, it has this kind of listing type of thing. It's just like a badly written hymn, really. The lyrics really sparse on content, so on and so forth.
And afterwards, you think back on this movie, and seeing the little child really didn't do anything for me during the movie. But then knowing that it was the son who wrote this based on his parents.
Yeah. Some of their experiences.
Yeah. So then you
wonder
think back
about the
and
ending.
you look at the little child and you're like, what happened? What happened? To the child, and